and welcome back to GARS, your one and only YouTube review series of every Gintama arc. Today we are reviewing the Kintaro arc, which covers 2 manga chapters and 3 anime episodes. And I have to say, this is definitely one of the sadder ones. More sad ones, for better grammar purposes. Anyway, I'm not gonna talk much here because, like I said, it's very short and it's very sad. So, let the bulk of the review be in the review. So, play it. To outlive all of those close to you so they can live as happily as possible and not have to witness the death of a close friend. This is the philosophy of a certain old man introduced in the Kintaro arc. Before that though, Sadaharu is feeling under the weather, so the 3 odd jobs take him to the vets. And what do we find? Well, turns out Sadaharu swallowed a sex doll in its entirety. Katsura is also at the vet. Katsura is about to figure out that he doesn't have a pet, but he has a big man in a suit. No, he doesn't. It gets close though. Katsura's obliviousness prevails. This is another situation where I can't exactly remember if Elizabeth's race is ever explained. I remember there's a whole arc around Elizabeth's race, but I don't know if it's ever explained what the hell Elizabeth is. I guess I'll have to wait and see. Katsura and Kagura happen to spot a dog named Kintaro very close to death, so the 2 decide to stay overnight in the hospital. Eventually, our duo decides to unlock the cage so they can take him to his master and see him one last time. It's a very wholesome scene. It seems like Sorachi just finished watching a bunch of Hallmark movies and wants to bring you along the ride as well. That is, until this happens.
信念に生きるものであったな。よし、いざおじいさんのもとへ。わきにいたぞ!
This dog's soul was no longer a dog at all. This is Parasite X, the Planet Eater. It splits apart in the sky and attaches to multiple different hosts. It controls them and evolves their bodies quickly to create an army to wipe out a planet. Which begs the question, where the hell are all the other bodies that it attached to? Because, like I just said, it splits apart into hundreds of different light beams that parasitically attach to other life forms as well. Okay, so editing Kev here. Yeah, it turns out I'm just a little bit dumb. The Planet Puker cat thing says, I finally found the last one of you. So there were others, but their whole parasite race was exterminated by Parasite Z already. And this is just the last surviving member, so carry on. Speaking of those cats, this is Parasite Z, the planet's Puker. They possess the same functionality as the planet's eaters, only they are the counteracting force to slay the planet's eaters. When they leave a host after the day is saved, they are puked out. Which I also have to wonder, where's the puke? I mean, I know the arc ended without us really seeing anything, but you think we get a follow-up episode after this with just a puke-filled Earth? But I'm glad they didn't do that. That's kind of gross. I don't really want to see that. So Parasite Z lands in a bunch of cats, and Parasite X accidentally landed into a puppy. Parasite X's plan was apparently to outlive the old man, so he wouldn't be bound by the doghouse anymore. But after he got out of the doghouse, what the hell was his plan then? It's not like he would become stronger after he broke out of the doghouse or anything. He would just be the same dog he is now. I don't know how he was planning to take over the whole planet. That doesn't really seem like it makes sense to me. But clarify that in the comments, I guess. He just seems like one really pathetic parasite. Anyway, Kagura and Zura decide to try to bring him to the old man so he can see his pup one more time. By the way, we don't actually learn the old man's name. So I'm just referring to him as Old Man. That's if you're wondering why I'm doing that, that's why. I don't have a name. He doesn't have a name. Look at this. I'm on the wiki right now. Characters introduced. Old Man. His name is just Old Man on the wiki. Here he is. Look at him right there. So that's why I'm referring to him as old man, because old man's his name. Speaking of this old man, apparently he's insane. Well, not insane. He was misguided? Misled? No, I'm thinking of the wrong word. He was not all there, I guess. He wasn't all there because his son, who was watching over him in his deathbed, in his hospital bed, was murdered. His son was murdered by him. He's just like sitting there reading a manga, and then the old man wakes up. He's like, oh, I had to outlive those close to me. And then he just chokes him out until he dies. And then he's like, it's time for my walk. It's time. So I think in his clouded mind, his near dead mind, his philosophy became so twisted that he killed his own son on accident. Good lord. Good lord. So after some fourth wall breaks from Kagura, where she like grabbed the candle and chucked it out. Wait, what did she do with it? I don't know what she did with it, but she took his life force out of his body somehow, because she's Kagura, she's the main character. And then after that, we have the walk. The old man desired Kintaro to die so he wouldn't be depressed upon his death. And Kintaro desired the old man's death so he could conquer Earth. Somehow, still not really sure how. Deep down though, somewhere along the line, Kintaro adopted the old man's philosophy as well. Anyway, the cats finally caught up to Kagura and Kintaro, and were now about to maul them. Luckily, we've got Kagura, the Yamato. Wait, that's her race, right? What the hell? What's Kagura's race? Yamato, right? That doesn't sound right for some reason. The Yato. Whoa, what's Yamato? Was I thinking of the character in One Piece? Yamato? I don't know. Anyway, not the Yamato, she's a Yato. So Kagura was versing the Planet Pukers, and the Shogun realized, not the Shogun, not the actual Shogun, the Planet Pukers Shogun, he realized, oh shit, we're losing. We're gonna lose. So he calls upon the secret parasite, the Omega Parasite, which is apparently psychologically unstable. So that thing gets called down, which amounts to absolutely nothing because it lands on the sex doll that Katsura had. Why did Katsura have the sex doll? Oh yeah, the Gintoki left him behind with it. I forgot. I don't know why he didn't throw it away. Actually, I'm not even gonna go there. Comedy's done now. Let's go to the final scene. Kintaro and Old Man embark on their final walk. The two slowly limp into the sunset before both of them collapse in unison. I was very close to crying here. My eyes welled up with tears, but they never escaped because the Planet Pukers were still around and completely soured the mood for this final scene. Luckily, Gin ran them over by accident. Good job, Gin. The stubborn two rose once more, their bodies running on pure willpower at this point. As they hobbled towards the end of the peninsula, their bodies grew weaker and weaker. Suddenly, the bipedal footsteps grew silent. Looking back, Kintaro realized he had won, and finally let his soul rest. Kintaro hadn't realized it, but Old Man was still just barely alive. With tears streaming down his face, he exclaimed his victory in his last breath, and passed on. The arc ends with Kagura dropping off a fresh bouquet of flowers for the two friends. All right, that's it. I guess I need to do some final thoughts now. So, this arc was very back and forth. It was very back and forth. It was comedy, and then sad, and then comedy, and then sad, and then comedy, and then sad. I feel like Sorachi was really stretching how far he could make the comedy to sad to comedy switch, and I think he was fairly successful here in some parts. I really hate that final scene where you just have the stupid Shogun with a sniper coming. It's like, man, what a ruin to the moment. I was about to tear up and cry. The tears were about to stream. I mean, seriously, just let them die. He's gonna die. Why even bring the sniper out? But alas, no waterworks today. And now, I think I'm gonna put this arc right in between the infant strife and the Mitsuba arc, giving it a nice and even 8 out of 10. Also, as for comedy goes, I don't think this arc really hit that much. I am not gonna lie. Especially after coming off of the last arc, which I said in my video had the funniest moments in all of Gintama. But, it's alright. It was alright. I did some quick reconsideration and I feel like it isn't quite as good as an 8. I made some changes. I think I'm gonna put it in between the memory loss arc and the hard-boiled detective arc, which makes it at a solid 7, okay? Forgive me. If you really like this arc, forgive me. But my opinion, okay? Anyway, have a good day, guys. That's the review. Peace out.